Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to take a look at Ultimate Force, give my opinions on the rule set, what I change and what I think is a good idea. This video is the first part of a 3-part series where I discuss Ultimate Force, then whether Ultimate should try to get into the Olympics, and then finally what I think Ultimate's Olympic chances are. Ultimate Force is a new Ultimate format devised for the 2028 LA Olympics. WFDF have been pushing hard for years to be included in the Olympics, particularly targeting the 2028 games. So a lot of people think whether or not Ultimate Force is successful this time round is a make or break moment for the current leaders of organisations across the sport. Whilst I talk about my thoughts, you're watching the Ultimate Force showcase event held at US Club Nationals with players from Boston Sprocket. The obvious main change is the number of players. You have to understand that WFDF are not making Ultimate Force a thing for no reason. The reason that there's only 4 players on the team is primarily to limit roster size, with each roster being only 6 people in total. A secondary benefit is that having exactly the same number of men and women on the field at the same time, unlike 5s or 7s, will help to promote gender equity. I think 4 players in active play and rosters 6 are the best solution WFDF had, and it will likely make Ultimate the team sport with the least personnel needed to run their event. I do have concerns about what would happen if there were injuries. 2 injuries to the same gender on one team could essentially disqualify you from competition, and 1 injury wouldn't be good news either. WFDF are really stretching what's possible with only opting for 1 substitute. Next, let's talk about pitch size and stall count. Pitch size and stall count are really important as they heavily influence how much of an advantage the offense has over the defense. Basically, how easy it is to score. The higher the stall count, the shorter the pitch, the wider the pitch, the more space per player, and the larger the end zone, the easier it is for the offense to score. In general, Ultimate is a sport that advantages the offense, especially as player skill increases. I think Ultimate Force will probably make it even easier than normal Ultimate for the offense to score, when I really think we should be moving in the opposite direction. The stall count will be 7. I think that's a step in the right direction. I prefer the stall count to be even lower, probably around 4 or 5, but I think 7 is a decent compromise, and I'm extremely happy the stall count isn't 10 like Beach Ultimate. The reduction of the stall count could also hint at some influence by the AUDL. Both the AUDL and the PUL were consulted when these new rules were created. The field size is 75 meters by 25 meters total, and that includes 15 meter end zones. This field size is identical to the WFDF beach rules, despite there being 1 fewer player on each team. Mostly this is okay, especially if we're on the beach or it gets windy. If I were in charge, I would either make the pitch 20% longer, make the end zones 20% smaller, or make the field 20% narrower to make sure the offense doesn't find it too easy to score. With low winds on a grass surface, I think Ultimate Force could be really easy for the offense, and I think that really reflects in the showcase footage from Club Nats on screen. Let's move on to pulls. The rules on pulling are actually radically different to the normal pull rules. Firstly, the brick mark is at midfield. This punishes teams massively for messing up the pull. It's also now not just about the disc landing in bounds, but also about it staying in bounds too, as a pull that lands in bounds and then rolls or skids out of bounds can be bricked. These are big changes, and it's going to mean that pullers will have to be much more conservative. It's clear that WFDF wants pulls to land in bounds so we can get the game moving faster. I think that this is an admirable goal, but I think it will be much better achieved by copying what the AUDL or the PUL do and make either game advisors or extra disc runners put the disc on the sideline where the disc rolls out of play. My concern is that conservative pulling means shorter pulls, and shorter pulls means easier offense. In my opinion, it's fun to see a team fail to field a roller pull and then get trapped at the back of their own end zone. I also think that given the strategic stubbornness of Ultimate players, teams may just pull like normal and all we'll see is more bricks. I think I slightly dislike this change, but I'm excited to see what the pull meta looks like. Okay, next topic is the length and structure of the game. The first thing is the game will be dramatically shorter than what we normally see in elite games, just 36 minutes in total. I'm not a huge fan. I want to see normal length games, but I'm guessing this change isn't really for me. I'm guessing it's to make the game more watchable and pull in casual fans. An effect this will have is increasing the randomness in the result of the competition, making all non-US teams significantly more likely to win if the event takes place. As a GB fan, that's pretty cool. Another format change is there will be quarters. I think that this is probably the first decision that I absolutely cannot understand. The halves are only 18 minutes. Do you really need a break in the middle when Ultimate stops and starts for like a minute every point anyway? The only thing this change does is aligns with the pro leagues and makes Ultimate more like other popular American sports. Not a fan of this at all. I wonder how much of an influence the pro leagues had on this specific change. Then the final thing to note is we are not moving towards AUDL style jump balls when the clock expires. Half finishes when the current point is scored, and the game finishes on the clock if there's a 2 or more point gap, and continues till a team scores if not. I'm happy this has been kept similar to normal Ultimate. The final major change is removing timeouts completely. I can take or leave timeouts, and I think that in this format specifically, having no timeouts is probably a good thing. What I don't understand is why you remove timeouts but add in a 2-minute stop between quarters. If we want to get the game moving quickly, we don't need those 2-minute stoppages. Get ready to see this rule implemented in the Sevens format too. We've known for a while that WFDF Rules Committee Chair Ruben Berg is not a fan of timeouts, especially ones called in active play, so if there's not too much backlash on this, they might remove them from Sevens too, and frankly, I'd be okay with that. That covers all the major changes. Other smaller changes include decreasing the time to pull, which I think is a fantastic change, and nuances around how the clock will be treated at the end of the game, which is handled well in my opinion. Overall then, do I think WFDF have done a good job? Yes. This game resembles typical Ultimate. They've speeded almost everything up, which is good, and I think they've made the most sensible changes they could in terms of limiting the amount of athletes needed for the event to take place. I do some things slightly differently, but in general this is going to make for a fun event. Some people online have said that fours suck, and I think that people are going a bit over the top. Fours isn't ideal, and I think it's going to lead to a lot less interesting tactical things going on the field, which we're not happy about, but fours doesn't represent a complete destruction of our sport. I also echo the sentiment that if this happens it'll be much better on the beach than on grass. For me it's just because being on grass is going to make offense super easy. There's a lot of negative comments on the showcase video from US Nats, and I can understand that. It really isn't that fun to watch, and if you compare it to the video Baseball 5s has put out, I think we're lingering behind other sports. If I was WFDF, I'd do this whole thing again at Bold Beach in April, and really amp the players up about it. Pick players from different teams to play each other, make them really want to win. Whatever they need to do. The commentators have also got to be hyped too. Get someone like Lorcan to do it instead of Evan Lepler. No hate to Evan though. Thanks for watching this video. What do you think about Ultimate Fours? Chat with us in the comments below or support our work by becoming a Patreon and chat to us on Discord. I'll see you on the next video.
The dishy in the deep. That end zone is so much closer.